We are live. Let's see here. What did you do over the weekend?
What did I do last weekend? Well, really, I mean, we talked on Saturday afternoon. Just the last pickleball. Dude, when we left, I played like 4 hours of pickleball Saturday and then like 5 hours of pickleball Sunday. That's basically what I did.
Damn, bro. That's a pickleball fiend.
Yeah, I literally just love pickleball. There's actually a few of our matches on YouTube. There's just
Boys, we gained 5 subscribers since last week.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
I gotta actually post it out to my 100 people that follow me.
I haven't posted it either.
Yeah.
I can totally do that.
Idiots.
No,
I don't know how.
What do you mean?
You gotta do it for me.
Do. Love Hormozy. He's an otter too, I think.
Otter?
Is that the one that I am, or am I a beaver?
You're a beaver.
Okay. I want to take the.
Say, I don't think he's an otter.
Okay.
I think he's got a little bit of beaver and a little bit of lion.
There's a fly.
I mean, there used to be a fly.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Open that door.
No.
Open that door. Are you kidding me?
No, you didn't.
No, he missed it.
Do you see it?
It went this way.
Oh!
Is it still in here?
Yeah. I really thought I had him.
Open that door. I opened up my windows today, and now there's like 3 flies in here. Go, little fly. I cannot do this with that little fly running around here.
God, I can't imagine what it would be like to be that weak-minded.
Yeah, okay. You have one of those in your brain. Just that whole fucking time.
That is true. I'm not used to it.
Yeah. All right, is it gone? It looks like it. Let's go. Anton said we need to fix the camera angle so it's not so much on the nuts. That was his feedback. He said it's a good podcast, but it's just straight nut shot. But I said that's what the people want.
Yeah.
Like, are you really gonna fuck with this right now?
Oh, yeah. I thought that was like a preface.
No, dude. Misread. Sit down.
We're gonna do the nut shots again this week, and then we'll figure out.
100%.
Okay.
100%. I mean, I don't really think they're that big of nut shots, is it?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's probably.
how could it not be a nut shot if our nuts are in the shot?
Look at this angle.
Still see my nuts from there. I mean, maybe it's my stance.
No, that's a nut shot. You're right.
That's even more of a nut shot.
Yeah, you're right.
I think maybe just Anton needs to stop looking at
the nuts. Yeah, that's actually fair.
It could be a viewer error.
Because are we thinking too? Like, if we got 5 subscribers last week, maybe they're here for the nuts. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Oh, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. That was Yeager. Yeager's first episode. He had his legs like up here. He's like, remember that?
Yeah.
That was actually a nut shot.
That was actually
This is not that. All right. See, this is why I said you shouldn't fucking touch it. And now here we are. I'm about to have to get up because he's
testing.
Yeah, perfect. Looks good.
Testing.
Well done. Back to where we were 5 minutes ago. Before you did anything.
That's what I do.
Damn. Are these bottle openers or these twist offs?
Bottle openers.
Can't use your teeth anymore?
I mean, I
You
can.
good for that?
I can for
I
me.
actually chipped my molar that I used to use to.
Wow. Then how mean of you for you to challenge me to do that?
I can do it.
Bam, ba bam, bam, bam. Yeah, these styles are definitely a good call.
Dude, I was concerned. Like, I was like, fuck, I'm like falling asleep. Do you guys eat dinner yet?
No. Haven't had dinner. I was exhausted as well. I was drinking fucking coffee.
Bang this out.
Let's go.
A really solid, potent hour.
Let's go. I looked at it as like, these things give me energy, actually. So, what?
The podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Talking smart shit makes me feel better.
All right, are we live?
Yeah, I think so. Yeager, can you check? Yeah.
How do I check that?
Just, is it like red?
Test.
Yeah. Live?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We're on YouTube.
Testing.
Yeah, we're good.
YouTube?
Yeah. All right. Here we are.
Should we cheers?
Sure. On this episode, we're drinking because
Unofficial
everyone was tired.
unofficial sponsor. If you're a beer distributor out there that are not selling, or if you're selling and want to represent,
Sponsor us.
slide into the DMs.
There's a lot of people that tune into these.
5 more than there were last week.
There is a lot yet. We just haven't fully realized it.
Yeah, 100%.
What's going on with
Oh, this is what's going on,
What's
dude.
happening here?
We have different mics. Everyone's got different mics.
No, mine's the same one.
Yours is the same one.
Do you want to switch?
I mean, you're blocked. So your face is fucking blocked entirely.
Oh, shit. I'll be right back.
There we go.
Don't worry about it. I'll be right back.
Yeager just spilled beer on the floor. Let's go.
It's so bad.
Let's go. Is it a lot?
Say it again.
He spilled beer on the floor. Is it a lot?
No.
Very minimal.
All right, cool. We might have to just chug one to fucking get this thing going.
I'm like 60% of the way through mine. Yeager is too, but he put 20% on the.
That is not 60%. You're like 30. 30 to 40.
Dude, these are going out smooth though.
Yeah, good call on the 12er.
That was your call.
I know.
I thought you were giving me a compliment. I was trying to dish it back to you, but no, okay. No, I agree, Luke. Good job.
Well, initially I was like 6. Then I was like, no, fuck that. 2 each. Really? Twat.
Yep.
Jesus.
Did you work out today?
No. Sauna'd.
I was thinking, actually,
Did you?
no, but I hit a quick like 25 minute leg workout in my room.
Counts, dude.
That counts.
Just stand on it. Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave this there.
It's over this way. Here, it's this way. It's this way.
That's a tiny bit of it.
Oh. Jesus, look at this guy. We found a reserve. We hit a gold mine. All right, it's not a big deal. Let's go.
Oh, you're good with this?
No, not really,
brother.
but I want it to be
I'm good with
done. Is it good now?
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
So while Yeager's getting situated, Luke, do you want to tell us about your time in Vegas?
Sure. Which part?
I guess all of them. Like, do you want to tell everybody like why you were there, and then like what you were there for, a few days, like, and what your agenda was like?
So Nikki texted or applied when she saw a story on Alex's thing that was like, "Do you want to come to Vegas?" And then we were one of the people who got accepted for it. And then we went and had dinner with them. And, or I did. We couldn't bring both of us because they could only have one person from each company. And yeah, it was great. You know, just got to talk to them, get strategy from them. Like, you know, they're super sharp. So he's really, really good. And she's also really, really good. So it's just awesome to talk to people who are really good at business. And they're doing like 160 million a year between the portfolio companies in cash, you know, 160 rev, which is huge. And yeah, it's dope. They said the one of the businesses inside the portfolio companies will be worth 250 million in the next year. And he's like, and we think it'll double like 2 years following that. That's just one of the businesses inside the portfolio. So I think their whole play is to build, and then they have like a huge sellable
You want to like
thing.
explain what they're doing?
Yep.
They're buying minority stakes in internet businesses. So they come in to somebody who's like they have a huge content machine, and the purpose of that is for people to self-serve themselves up to like 1 to 3 million, and then off of information that builds a relationship with Hormozis before they go and strike a deal.
So smart.
So that way they can take minority stake and then still have leverage because they don't have control. If they're a minority holder, they need the person to want to do the shit that they're saying. So that's why all of their shit's free. All their courses are free. All their books, 99 cents. And then they buy minority stakes. They have a central team, and then they use the central team to build out whatever missing holes are, like showing themselves in all of these other businesses. Yeah.
How did Hormozi?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you get yourself here, and then we'll help you to get to that next level.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's genius, actually. How did Hormozi make his money, for people that don't know?
He started, first he like launched like fucking a bunch of physical gyms. And after like years of doing that, ended up like even getting screwed over, like had nothing basically. And there was like a come to Jesus moment where like shortly after that, like some guy called him and was like, dude, we're shutting it down. Like we can't do this anymore. Like, this is terrible. And the guy's like, please, like, you don't even have to come out and help me launch the gym. Just show me how to do it. I'll pay you. Like, you know, I have kids. I have like a like thing, whatever. And so he ended up doing it. And he was like, I didn't have a price for it. So I just said the highest number I could think of. And then he's like, and I had 5 more phone calls that day. And I just kept saying a higher number, and people still just kept wanting it. So he's like, holy shit. Like, people will just buy with me to show them how to do this rather than having to actually go and do it. And then he launched Gym Launch, and they made tons of money.
Was that like an online program, or was he on site with these?
It was licensing around how to build gyms.
Didn't he call it like bar rescue for gyms?
Yeah.
Is that like, I think I heard him on, he was on Lewis Howes last week, which I liked.
Yep. Similar concept. Yeah.
And so now he's doing, is it not, Luke, dissimilar to what you were thinking around internet capitalists? Like he's giving
you. It's very similar. It's all in the, it's mainly in the, heavily concentrated in the biz op niche. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, one of the businesses is like a photography company.
It's not just fitness.
No.
Oh,
like
a
photographer.
I thought it was just fitness that he was doing.
No. Yeah. Yep.
How many people were there?
There was 4 people, including me, outside of them.
That's awesome. I thought there was like 20.
No. I was
like
sitting right across the street from it was like, hey, and like we were just talking the whole time for 4 hours. It was awesome.
The dinner was like 4 hours.
Yeah, it was 4 hours.
Was it just dinner, or was the whole weekend with them?
Just dinner.
Pretty sick.
So it was 5:30 to 9:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sorry if I missed this. The people that were there that Nikki initially got reached out, it was exclusively for gyms and like physical fitness stuff, or no? It's for anything?
No.
Yeah,
no.
everything.
Everything. Okay. Yeah. So other businesses that they are just, I think it's like a market research thing for them, sort of. Yeah. And then it's a chance to obviously, you know, connect with somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is like your biggest takeaway that you're comfortable sharing from the dinner, or like your reflections from chatting with those guys and gals?
Or that you're uncomfortable sharing.
Okay. That I'm uncomfortable sharing. All right, let's see.
I actually prefer that one.
All right. So the most uncomfortable thought I think is like sort of egotistical. So I don't know. Should I share that?
Yeah.
Well, it's like the idea of like when there's people you admire and look up to, and then like, you know that they're smart, and then you're really communicating on the same like thing, and you're understanding the same concepts, and like that is one of the biggest takeaways. It's just like a belief builder of like, okay, I can do this.
That's egotistical. It's like you meet someone that you admire and respect, and then when you actually meet them, you're like, oh, they're like a normal human being, and like I'm actually at this level where we can communicate and have a deep conversation. It's like,
so I was a little insecure about that, but that's definitely it. Yeah, that's the main thing, 100%.
Yeah. See, honestly, that's even like a little bit of a mini continuation from how we ended the last conversation that we had, talking about like being comfortable with talking about the things that you are good at. Like, you know, I look at that as a confident sort of thing. You know, to be okay to say, hey, listen, like this guy's on this next level. But when I was talking to him, I felt like I was.
But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, I wish I had a bigger takeaway than that. There was more another practical takeaway.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the belief in like those intangible things are the biggest drivers for everything.
Well, remember what we used to always say? We'd be like, yeah, people will very rarely remember what you say, but like how you make them feel, like that'll stay with them forever.
Yeah.
And that's a belief thing. It's how someone makes you feel.
Yep.
But what was the practical thing?
The practical thing was how to try and like make a model like this go up to $100 million.
What was the thing that he said?
So we were having issue. We are having issues.
Did you talk to him about specifics about your business?
Yes. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And so this is like advice that he specifically gave you about the things that you were telling him.
Yeah. Hundo.
All right, so go ahead, continue.
And it was like, we're scaling up. All the salespeople are independent contractors, can't tell them when to work. The same thing I said yesterday with like the real cost, 14 grand, 10 grand times by 4, that's 100 grand. That whole thing. And then also the revenue should be, 40 to 60,000. And then it's like 10 to 30,000. So then you're losing, 20 to 40 times 2 times 4. And you're down like 340 grand to like 280 grand. And they were like, all right, we'll turn them into employees. Done. I was like, wow, didn't even think of that. Like,
yeah, but isn't that like, there's obviously a trade-off to that.
Not really.
You have to pay them a salary still, right?
No, employees, you can still base it off of what they perform. So there's like different classifications of employees.
Are they W-2? And I'm super interested in
this
because
W2.
We have for our that I might pick up something from us because we don't want to have them like whatever, regardless.
Yeah.
So you're saying you can pay them based off of commission, no salary, and they're W-2 now, so you can just tell them when to show up and when.
Yeah, there's different ways to do it. I'm not entirely sure how to do it, but like when you're talking about, $240,000 swing over a month, or a $340,000 swing over a month, like it's hard for that to not work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing was like it makes it way more sellable. So it's like if you want to try and sell it at any point, like they look at contractors like it's not even the business. Like that's not even part of the business because they're not part of the business. They're technically just working for themselves with you. So
that's something that you now want to do.
Well, I mean, and then the idea was like, hey, you could get it up to here and then start buying up all these other little ones and then turn it into like $100 million thing and then try and sell it.
So like the method of, you always wanted to grow it to $100 million thing, but before you were like, let me grow it to $100 million. Now you're thinking, maybe we can get there through acquisitions.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, we have to find new talent, train new talent, do all of this shit, make them fit into our thing. And then it's like, no, we can just buy it. Yeah,
but when you buy someone else's, would you bring them into the fold then? Like where now they're doing your training systems and all of your shit?
We would... No, probably just keep them growing as them and their thing and then bring all of our systems and processes and resources into their thing.
So it'd be like a separate company almost.
Yeah, like but it's all the same business. So it's like the same, it's all the same company. It just looks, at the very surface, this level different, but it's all the same.
Luke, are you going to stay in contact? And I also have I want to call this the Alex Hormozy episode.
Yeah.
Because I listened to his Lewis Howes and there's like a bunch of things I want to ask you.
Yeah, you already smoked that?
Yeah, I'm going to have another one too.
I spilled about that much.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah, Yeags, while you're there, just can you pop one in for me?
Yeah, me too, please.
Because I want to ask you guys about.
Thank you.
Like Hormozy has this really cool way and structured way of thinking about business. So I want to ask you guys both a bunch of things. But before we go there, Luke, are you going to stay in contact with him? Like, how do you think it ended? Like,
it ended great. Like, we really connected. We got out of the thing, and the other people I was there with were like, oh shit, I didn't know you were friends with them before this. I was like, it's the first time I ever met them. And we connected and we met. And it's like, yeah, we met. I mean, so now it's like he knows who I am.
Yeah.
She knows who I am. I know who they are. We got along. It was friendly. It's not like you just arbitrarily are like, hey, like, let me fucking talk to you more than I need to for no reason. It's like, if there's ever a reason, reach back out. And it was good. It was great. Loved it. It was awesome.
All right. So
I could do that shit all day. Like when I don't want those moments to like I could talk business with smart people till the fucking, till the cows come home.
Yeah.
I just turn into like a sponge. And then when there's any resonance, it's just great.
Did you feel like you were finding ideas? 'Cause I think let me give you an example, and I think you'll appreciate this. Mm-hmm. It's like when I used to network at like college career fair. Oh, the two anti-college people.
Thank you.
Like at a career fair, right? Like maybe there was like one person from a company and like 4 students, right? So like you're talking and then another student's talking. Like, did you feel any sort of like were the vibes good? this might be a weird question, with the other people that were there? Like, you guys are all sort of collaborative. Like, you're not really competing, right? It's like collaborative, right?
Yeah, they were. So, you know, it was kind of like one person went and then like explained it, and then like we would give advice basically.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So like I would talk on it, and it was basically me and then the Hormozis talking with the other people. Basically, it's how it ended up being. It wasn't like supposed to be like that or anything, but yeah.
Were they cool?
Yeah. There was.
Did you guys go out after?
Nah, I probably would have, but I was just like on like 5 days of like we had like I said before our last time, I had fucking 15 drinks before I went.
Wait, were people drinking at the dinner?
I had a drink. Yeah, I had a tequila.
Did Hormozy have a drink?
No, but he has no, but I think they do. Like it's just they got to be probably with people they're more comfortable with or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
So Hormozy was a management consultant, so he has like a really structured way of thinking, and I love that. Like, so
I bet you do.
So surprising.
He does. So I listened to the Lewis House podcast 2 times with him, and he has just so many good tidbits, probably a bunch more that I didn't see. So I want to ask you guys about leverage first. So first, when I say leverage, can you explain that to folks? Yags, from your perspective. Luke, I'm thinking of the Naval definition, but like I want to ask you guys how you define leverage and how you use leverage specifically in your business.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the 4 different types, right?
Yeah.
What do you remember what those 4 are?
Okay, can I say it? I'm so happy about this. So
can I say it?
So Naval, I was asking you, and I was like, so Naval says, really, there's 3 types of leverage. So the first is capital, right? So that's like, hey, you can use 100,000, and you're better at explaining this. Maybe so you can explain this one. I feel like it's most relevant to your business too. Like, I'm going to use $50,000 and get levered up and like make it $500,000. And it's more technical than that. But then the second is people, right? So if I am making pizzas and I get 10 other people to make pizzas, then I can make 10 more pizzas. But what Naval says is the first 2 require permission. I need someone's permission to raise money to work for me, right? And the last is permissionless. And this, Luke, is probably more up your alley from a content perspective. So we're recording this video once, and we can replicate it with no marginal cost of replication. So we record it once, we have 1 video, or we can have 1 million videos. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. So I think it's like,
and then isn't there like software?
He called it. So Hormozy
atoms and bits. That's what he calls it. Bits. It's like bits, media, fucking.
Yeah. So Hormozy calls it the 4 C's: code, content, which are permissionless, and then capital and collaboration, which are the first 2. So I like that framework, and I think like Naval says it's one of the keys to wealth. We should actually, Naval has a really good talk on ways to get rich without getting lucky. But that's the first
time I heard of Naval's when Luke sent me that.
That's the best one. So leverage is one of the 3 pillars.
Which is like Archimedes is like, give me a lever big enough and a place to stand, and I'll move the earth or something.
Right.
Move the world.
That's exactly right. So let's talk about, because I think both of you guys use leverage differently. So Yags, let's start with you. Like, my definition, especially from a capital perspective, is very high level, and it could be wrong. Like, explain to people how you use leverage in your business.
Yeah, well, so actually it was Naval that I listened to the same podcast too, so it was cool hearing Hormozy talk about the leverage from Naval, because I heard about it first from Naval, and that changed my perspective, because I've always thought about leverage just with money, because that's how our business is. Like you said, it's most it's the easiest way to look at it, is how we get levered up with money, and it's really, really simple. We just we'll use debt to.
I didn't even think that it was this deep. I thought it was just like money lets you do things.
No. I mean, no, it's like a technical term of leverage, like looking at it like quantitatively.
Right.
Is like, okay, I can leverage on this property up to 80%, and then I can get gap funding at an extra 10%. And so now like I can buy $1 million property.
I don't think that's the meaning though, is it? I think just what it's like, leverage is like, you have money, you can do things with it. You have people, you can do things with it. You have content, you have bits, you can do things with it.
No, that's not how I took it. At least I took it like, okay, you can
like the literal form of leverage.
Yeah, you can literally
like
use
leveraging your money.
To leverage. Yeah,
I interpreted it like Yeager.
Like you get higher. You can get higher leverage with other people's money or. With,
can you give a specific example? Like, be very specific. Like.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're working on. We came across a project that was a really, really good project. It was a single family house that we could turn into 4 units, and we were just like all of our capital was tied up with other shit. So we ended up finding a bank that gave us 75% leverage with debt, and the total project was like, I think it was like 800 grand. Let's just say $1 million because it's easier to work it. So they gave us 75% leverage, so 750,000 in debt, and we had another 250,000 in equity. So usually, like, we would put up a portion or whatever, and then we'd find an investor to put up a portion. This time we didn't have any money because it was all tied up, but it was a really, really good deal, so we didn't want to let it go. So we ended up giving up more equity to our investors. They provided that full equity portion of the capital stack. And now it's like we just 100% are using other people's money as leverage to now do this job that we never could have done. We didn't have $1 million.
Explain to people the positives.
Or how I look at it is just like money allowed you to get things done. And then what is like leverage is getting things done.
You're spending money on doing something that like you could do yourself, but instead you're going to spend money on it.
Exactly. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really similar concept though, because
still the same thing. It's just you're leveraging up the money before you're getting the leverage.
Well, it's almost like the money leverage is another layer deep because like.
But the real leverage is getting it done.
Okay, but let's say I had $1 million in cash and I was going to leverage my $1 million in order to make me more cash flow.
Yeah.
No, not more money. Like your way. I use my $1 million in cash to just buy this 4-unit building, and now it just throws off chunks every single month. Right now, I just have like consistent cash flow every single month. Then you go another level deeper. It's like, okay, well, how can you use that $1 million to give you more leverage with that capital? Like your method is using that capital to give you leverage.
No. I'm still saying you. All right, so you could take that same $1 million, not put it in one, take 3, leverage it up, and have $1 million in 3.
So that's my form of leverage.
But either way, at the end of the day, though, it's using money to get thing done.
Yeah, no, totally.
Which is, I think, what this whole concept boils down to. So it's like get thing done with money, get thing done with people, get thing done with content.
/ software.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's like. No, I don't understand your point.
I love when you guys go back and forth. It's like you guys.
He's making a stupid point.
No, you guys love to.
It's not stupid.
It is stupid.
No, it's not. It's what the whole thing is.
No, because you're using money. You're leveraging money so that you can.
Ding 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 ding.
You can't reason with this guy when he's like this.
I understand what you're talking about. You're leveraging the money, and that's giving you more leverage. At the end of the day,
giving you more money.
Using money to do thing. Leverage.
So if you leverage your money correctly, then you can get more money to do more thing.
Yes.
Right. The $1 million example, I forget who said it first. The $1 million example, 1 property versus 4 properties, I think is most relevant.
100%.
Like
that's what I was going to say. Rather than using my $1 million here to buy 1 4-unit building, I can leverage with credit and get 75% leverage with a bank, and now that $1 million I use as a $250,000 equity slug to get 4 of them.
I look at
16 units.
Yeah. For sure, 100%.
Explain to people before we go to Luke, the downside of leverage is what? You have to pay interest on it. Like,
what's the scariest leverage position you've ever been in where you're like, ooh, we shouldn't have done that? Or are there any of those?
We have one right now.
You have one right now? Let's hear it.
We put this deal under contract that had a really long time horizon. Where it was there was just a lot of intricacies with the deal. Where we put it under contract with a zoning contingency, and I don't want to get too into the details because like I don't want to get into the weeds too much. But long story short, it was a long process that we were adding value to this piece of land before we bought it. So we're looking at it like no risk. We have it under contract for $140. There's a contingency that says we're only buying this if we can allow the city to, we get the city to allow us to build 3 units instead of 1. Currently, it's allowed 1. So it just takes a long time to do that. In the time between us starting that and us getting it approved, meaning once it's approved, now we have to buy it because that contingency hits. In that interim, construction prices went up by like 60%. So whereas the deal was a ridiculous deal, the number we had it for was it was absurd. It was like a no-brainer deal. Now, by the time that it's approved, we're like, fuck, it's like not as good of a deal. And it's still a good deal. It should be a good deal. But Now we're looking at rising interest rates, and I think the condo market, these are 3 condos. The condo market's a little bit iffy right now in the neighborhood. Luckily, like there's a ton of really, really large scale development that's all based around like biomedical and tech and stuff. So it's like a lot of high paying jobs. So I think we're going to do okay here. But long story short, we essentially, this was one of those deals where we just had our money in other deals, but we didn't want to pass up on a good deal. So we borrowed equity in the deal from another investor as debt. So does that make sense? So so it was
borrowed equity.
Yeah, so
in the deal as debt.
So those
who owns the deal if you're borrowing?
We own 100% of it.
So then how are you borrowing equity?
Because we're raising money through a bank as full debt, meaning they don't own any of the deal. We're just paying them. It's just a strict 18-month term, and you're getting 7%. And they say we'll leverage to 75%. So the other 25%, the equity piece, you need to leverage. So now we got this sort of, it's like basically gap funding where it's higher interest. Instead of 7% to a bank, we're paying 12%, and we're borrowing $200 for that piece.
So the bank wouldn't give you 100%.
No,
the bank said we'll give you 75%. You got to go raise their 25%.
Well, no, it's not even like raise the 25. It's like you pay the 25. When we raise it, we usually don't tell them.
Got it. Okay, I see. And then to your point, the bank
Epi from Sharon Bank. I really hope you're not tuning in right now.
She might be. So
that's a he.
Instead of 7%, you got to pay more for that private money.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, we have a very good deal for both our investors and ourselves. Our private money investors are not at risk.
I kind of got a pee too. Okay. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. Our private money investors are not at risk for this one. They're strictly, it's a promissory note between us and them, naming the property as collateral and like a second position essentially behind the bank. But since the bank is only leveraged at 75% of loan to cost, and their loan to value is like 60%.
Yeah.
There's just a huge piece there.
So do they appraise the property?
Yeah. So I lost a battle that I've been fighting for about 6 weeks today with an appraiser. Appraisers are my least favorite people in the real estate world.
Well, they fucking suck. Also, dude, Luke, can I pee real quick?
Yeah. I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to keep ripping this story.
Just pretend he's there still.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. So
talk to the camera.
Appraisers are the worst people in the world. I'm going to talk to appraisers. Why do you all have these crazy egos where you refuse to change your mind when given relevant, rational information? Why? I must know. I've been in this battle for 6 weeks. This guy appraised our property at literally $200,000 less than I needed to appraise for. It was actually $225,000 less, so it's a pretty big deal because we're getting 75% leverage on a now evaluation that's $225,000 less than we wanted it for.
What the fuck? That's like what, 30%?
No, this one it was like 20%. Jesus. Came in 20% less. But I'm like showing him all of these. You value a property based on comps. Yeah, comparable properties that have sold. So I was just showing him why the comps that he chose comps from a different neighborhood. It's like not comparable. So
really this isn't kind of a leverage problem as much as it is.
No, it is because so either way the bank is like we're maxing you out at 75% leverage. So if the valuation comes in less and they're still giving me 75% leverage, now I'm able to borrow less. So in this scenario, it wound up with us just having to put an extra $50,000 in the deal. But it's just like annoying because now we got to tie up $50,000 for another year that we didn't plan on. But it's not the end of the world with it.
Not the end of the world.
I think that was. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But that was just an indicator. That was a situation where we are leveraged at 100% of that deal because the 75% is the bank debt and 25% is private investor debt.
Yeah.
So 100%. It's 100% leverage of loan to cost. Now it just depends on, and before it was like 60% leverage. Even at 100% loan to cost, it was like 60% leverage of the value. But now because construction costs rose, we had to raise our construction budget. There.
Yeah.
So because of that, now it's a little bit tighter than we're comfortable with, and like with all the turbulence in the market, who knows if we're still going to get the values that we thought that we were going to get. It's not going to be done for another 8-9 months or something. So. Yeah. What's the market going to look like 8-9 months from now? I mean, no one knows.
Oh, the fly's back.
The fucking fly is back.
All right, Luke, let's go. I think that was a really good Yeager definition capital. So Luke,
the cool thing that actually real quick with Naval why I really liked is because he started breaking it down like this, and I was like, holy shit, we can leverage so much more with all these other ways, and that's why we hired this social media chick. We hired a couple people in these different positions to handle like these sort of tasks that just we felt were a little bit below our level. Like
to me, I think it's your time is better optimized doing other things.
Right.
That's the way I think.
Right.
Of it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Like, well said. For sure, I agree. But yeah. So and then like now
more leverage.
So now we're trying to focus more. Like we have a pretty good understanding of the capital leverage. Now we're trying to focus more on the time and the like software stuff.
Okay, and maybe let's go to Luke on that now. And like the one thing I'd say is like capital. You can only lever up so much. The cool thing about code and content is it's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Like Yeags, right? Like you put in say 50K, even if you put in $0, but like
I mean, what I'll say on that is like if the markets were to tumble, we have a lot of investors, people that we've been talking to that are like so eager to get involved that we could leverage every single job to 100%.
Yeah,
for the most part. So if you really know what you're doing, like, and you have a good system in order to acquire properties, you can leverage infinitely with capital.
Sometimes you got to be able to send it, Miller.
No, you guys, I want to talk about leverage in my circumstance last and how I'm on the opposite end. Like someone else is
Let's just bring that in right now because you're right on.
Okay, no. So like if you think about it.
So you got a little, let me just, for everybody, Yeager said we can leverage 100% of all of the properties in a theoretical situation. And that made Miller get a little bit squeamish over there.
Well, I actually was more squeamish. Maybe I'm just squeamish in general, but my specific squeam, I get, is that a verb?
Yeah, we can use it.
So like when you talk about using the social media person, like the way I think about it is there are shareholders in my company and people that are partners that have equity that are using Alex, which is fine, as a form of collaboration leverage, right? Yeah. Like basically they can do task A. They have 100 other people that can do task A. So instead of making $1, they're now making $100, which is fine. And that's the agreement I signed up for. But to me, you guys are on the opposite end of the lever, which is where you want to be.
We need, right now, actually, I would say our constraint isn't even with capital leverage. Our constraint right now is actually more like the leverage that you're talking about.
Really?
The collaboration leverage. Yeah. Like we're trying to build a better system so that we can use all of the capital that's currently available to us.
That's interesting.
Like I think that either way you're gonna end up hitting a ceiling. Anytime that you hit you're a little bit stagnant or you're not catching growth as fast as you want, you'll hit some sort of ceiling, and it's because one of those four leverages is underutilized.
I'm so unfamiliar with like leveraging up money and stuff like that.
Well, this is so you guys have a system where you can take on or actually you're even working you're leveraging, you're using your money to leverage up right now and get more leads. And now you need to have your collaboration leverage, your people, your employees. You're working on that piece so that you can handle these more incoming leads. It's kind of the same thing with us where we have more money to deploy right now and we just can't handle doing more jobs. So we need to hire people in these specific positions so that we can do more projects and handle the construction when we actually do get them. So the money is not our limiting factor with the leverage. Right now it's more people.
I like that word, limiting factor. Luke,
bottleneck.
For you, Luke, let's go to you. When you think about leverage, thank you. I feel like I always have an issue with this. It's definitely me. I like to fiddle with it.
Dude, oh Jesus, this fucking guy. You got 2 beers in him and he's
I'm definitely, dude, I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm definitely like buzzed. But so Luke, when you think about leverage, like
just getting more things done. That's it.
So let's talk about specifically in your business. What are the types of leverages that you think you're using?
All of them.
Can you walk us through it? Like,
I'm using money, and I'm using people, and I'm using bits.
Well, I think so explain to people how.
So if you add more people, you can do more stuff. If you have more bits, you can get it in front of more people and then use more money.
This is good content.
That's true. No, but that was a really good synopsis of the whole thing.
I agree.
That was
It's not deeper than that.
No, right.
So let's go to then the second Hormozy-ism.
Trying to get more leverage.
Your piece that's stopping you right now the most though is those getting the salespeople right and making sure your systems are correctly, or not correctly, but efficiently working together.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of what I was just saying. Basically, it's the similar thing to us, where it's
So I need to match my people leverage up to what I can produce with money and
So if there were 20 Andrews and 20 Lukes, you guys think you guys would be okay, right? That's what you're saying, right? Like,
there were 20 of me, my company would be fucked.
Yeah, mine would be too.
We would be canceled. Posting wild shit on. If I was our social media manager,
I'd either be a gazillionaire
in Philadelphia.
Or dead.
No way, dude. He'll be riding outside my apartment.
I think the pod's gonna move to Miami in about a year because I think you're gonna get so fed up.
I tell you, we just put a 6 unit under contract in Florida.
No, you didn't. Where at?
It's called Lantana. So this is actually a good example of
Lantana, like Montana, except with a land.
Yeah, it's right. It's like a little blue collar town between Palm Beach and Delray Beach.
Sounds kind of like tacky.
Lantana.
It's nice. Yeah, no, it's a cool little deal. It's like we're taking a minority position in it. We're partnering up with people that we really respect. We're going to be able to learn a lot. No, we'll pitch him the investment, see if he wants to come in as a limited partner. But my buddies that own a pretty large scale fund.
Gotcha.
We're partnering with them. But
nice.
But it's just really nice that we're going to be able to have 6 units now in an area where we're currently running marketing and trying to do some business down there. Because when you have some property, like now we're real to all the real estate professionals down there. It's not like, oh yeah, we do some stuff in Philly and we're looking to come down here. It's like, oh, we have these 6 units here. We're trying to renovate them. Do you know a contractor that can start work today?
Mm-hmm.
And now it becomes all real conversations versus theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other,
I'm excited.
Real versus theoretical.
Goddamn right.
Goddamn right.
The other thing I'll say that's interesting.
Remember that from yep. I
know
agree.
where you're going.
A lot more value with real immediate.
But
yeah,
the reason why I got
no
is because I theorized it first.
And
now we're working the plan. We theorized, we made a plan, we're working the plan.
Mm-hmm. And when you were theorizing, it was immediately happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That's not your thing. That's my thing.
Let's talk about
not claiming ownership over the idea that wins. This is the idea that wins.
I agree with that.
I think we're all
correct. That's exactly correct.
I was gonna say is Yeager buzz, but no, because he spilled half his first beer on the.
Yeah, seriously.
So let's talk about value.
That much.
Hormozy talks a lot about value, and he has 4 specifics. Let me see if I have. I think I might have wrote them down.
Oh yeah.
He says and this is to me what
the value equation.
What a consultant does. They say, hey, here's this word or here's this bucket of things that I have to think about, and here are the 4 components of that. So he says, Hormozy defines value as dream outcome. So like he used it like 6-pack abs, perceived likelihood of achieving. So it's like, hey, here's all these testimonials. Here are 25 other people that did it. Time delay. So how long does it take? And
the investment.
Yeah, perceived out. So it's like you got to wake up early, things like that. So with that as the backdrop, Luke, let's start with you. When you think about the value your company is providing to customers, what do you think that is? And you can use that equation.
Touch points, customer service, community, and emotional shift. So I think that information now is just available everywhere for anybody. And it's not the thing that's actually very valuable now. It's the ability to act on the information, which can be facilitated with like really good customer support and then like emotional shifts.
The ability to act on the information. Are you saying like boiling it down so it's like actually less information, not even finding more information?
Sure. And then having someone be like, do this. And then like seeing other people like you that are like doing it and like, oh, they're doing it. Like, let me do it. And then like the belief shift and like.
So do you guys have like sectors then that like would, if I were
it's just all one. It's all one huge one basically. And then, we have sectors.
Like everyone, basically if they find your company and they connect with the message, they are the person that you're looking for that wants this specific boiled down information.
Yes.
Can you explain the customer journey? So if my sister signs up for Warrior Babe, like what is the...
So she would get checked out by a salesperson. She'd get an email. Email would have this like big application form. Application form has her upload before and after, or before pictures. All of this different information. She's self-selecting through, and then we have community manager go through, read that information based off what it says, either have them go to like, whatever it is that they need. So if they need to like retrain their metabolism, they go to this section. If they need to go into a cut, they go to this section. If they want to get toned or add more muscle, they need to go to this section. If they're so far off the map, all they need to do is eat healthy, they go to this section.
You say section, is that a specific trainer or is that?
It's a component of the program.
Okay.
So there's 2 levels to the program. If they want the higher level, there's an even more in-depth one, and they get assigned to a coach that has expertise in the thing that they're looking to solve. So it's like prenatal, or like this woman just had a kid, right? We have coaches for that. Or powerlifting, we have coaches for that. More like triathlon, or like direct with somebody.
So she signs up, she fills out the application, you funnel her to one. So let's just pick one.
Well, so that's so I was talking about the blueprint.
Okay.
Yep. And they get funneled to a certain place of the self-serving program. If they order VIP,
okay.
then it's a whole nother product where they're going
flavors.
directly to a person.
So let's explain self-service. So self-service is like I go in, I say, hey, here are the 6 workouts I got to do this week. Here's diet.
Yeah, it's more so like, okay, like here's where you're currently at. And then, they're like learning through whatever it is that they need. If that's just eating healthy and not eating like processed foods, then they go to like the very, like that part. If it's like, whatever it is, there's information that covers like all the different possibilities, or a lot of the different possibilities. And then based off what they show us, we direct them where to go. Like a fat woman who wants to get toned is very different than a skinny woman who wants to get toned. A woman who, is extremely intense, works out all the time, like over diets, over restricts, like that's a different kind of person. She needs to go somewhere else, where like her first step will just be retraining her metabolism. So like stepping out of like all the crazy shit she's been doing. So
what does that mean to you, retrain your metabolism?
So that's like, there's like a big part of women who have like, they work out way too much. Like they do way too much cardio. They're eating like, like psychos basically, where it's just like, almost like disorder type of level. And then they need to like step out to eating more food for like a consistent period of time and stop doing the gnarly shit till their bodies sort of like hit a new baseline, and then they go from there based off what they're seeing.
Interesting.
Can you explain, Luke, one time?
Like there's people, when I was doing sales calls, it's like I haven't had like a French fry in like years.
That's
like I have no fat, like ever. And like everyone's body needs fat.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm all fucked up. Like all these
Isn't
fucked
the
up
whole
things
thing
are
like
happening.
eat fat to lose fat?
That's like keto, but
yeah. But isn't that, there's like some truth in that, right?
Yeah, like, there is and there isn't. At the end of the day, it comes down to like protein first. It's like source first. Our hierarchy is this. It's like quality, number one. Before you start worrying about calories, macros, make sure you're not eating Chick-fil-A every day and like Oreos, number one. Number two, get the protein amount and then the rough calorie amount dialed in. Then you have that. Then you go into the macros. Then you get the macros, and there's different phases you can do for macros. Maintenance, building, cutting, and then there's different time periods and all that shit. So.
Dude, that's wild. I've gone on such a trek with my diet and exploration, trying to figure out like what the best thing is for me. Literally over the past, 8, 9, 10 years. And literally where I'm at now is I try to just make sure I'm eating good shit, like just real food. I really have cut out like seed oils for the most part. I've cut out like all processed.
Yep.
That's literally where my focus is. That's it. That's basically it.
Yep. And then like if you nail that to like the limit, then you can go further. It's like, okay, now let's look at how many carbs you should
That's the diet that makes me feel better, and it makes me think that I was just eating bad shit and I wasn't getting enough protein. And I've gone through like it's not like I just tried this one thing. I've gone through so many different. I've done like macros and I've done all this other stuff, and this is where I've landed. So it's funny you say that. That sounds like it's pretty awesome advice. It
is. We changed it to be that way because we used to try and have everyone come in and then like, what kind of body type do you have going to a macro plan? It was just too much. Yeah, it's like people come in. It's like if you have never fucking dieted and then you have them weighing food and like the protein, fats, and carbs, it's like it's gonna be a little overwhelming.
I built out this Excel sheet. It's like similar to like my pro formas with the real estate deals, where like you know everything like has a formula, And then I did it to track my macros.
Raw liver.
This is before the raw liver, so I don't have that on the sheet. But it helped me it was just because I wanted to start tracking what I ate to figure out where I was at, like when I was starting it. And so everything I would just put in. I had 1 serving of this, 2 serving of this, whatever.
Yeah.
And that alone was just super, super helpful. And then when I did the macros, I just kind of backed into it.
Yep.
But do you guys have something like that, like a calculator?
Yeah, there's calculators. There's like 15 calculators. So it's like
really?
depending on where people end up, there's like 15 different kinds of fucking
so
or more. I don't know, or less. It's something like
something
that.
Around there. Yeah.
So when you think about value to the customer, I heard you say specificity. So Luke's plan is different than Andrew's.
Yeah.
Simplicity to a certain extent, like.
Yes.
What like to me, like, hey, eat better foods, and then like do step 1, and then you can worry about macros.
Yeah.
What other you say customer touch points?
So,
like, what other things do you think resonate with customers?
So when it comes to an e-learning product, it's clarity, continuity, order, and then like support. And then the thing about information is once it's consumed, the value depletes immediately. So it's like once you've learned the thing. And you could argue you need to consume things like 10, 15 times to fully get them or even more. Then you've got the value out of it, right? So then to try and keep people buying the thing or in the thing, there has to be other components of it. So like community, that's consumable. People want to continue to show up and be a part of like a group. Like they made friends. You know, it's like, okay, we want to work out together. We want to do this thing together, whatever it is together. And then there's like other, consumable parts. So it's really like, it's got to be like good customer support, good customer service, basically.
I want to ask you one more thing about your customer before we go to Yeags. Is there a reason why you have the infrastructure, you have the blueprint? Could you, and forgive me if you already do this, could you go to guys too, or no? Do you already do that?
Oh, we could. No, we don't.
And is there, because to me,
it's called Warrior Babes. We'd have to build like another brand.
Warrior Bro.
Warrior Bro. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, Yeager would be a good model, bro.
Yeah, listen, dude.
Fucking kidding me? You seen this dude with a shirt off, dude?
Yeah. Well, keep the shirt on, and it'll be good. Yeah.
Fucking love that.
Would you like to grow a bottom ab this big?
Notice that he said that he didn't say you would be a good spokesperson. He said I would be a good spokesperson for that.
Yeah, you would
Miller,
be a better spokesperson.
I think collectively
than him,
the three of us.
He's ugly and fat. I'm good looking and I'm fit.
No,
that's what it is.
Collectively, the three of us, like,
astute, Miller.
Like,
very astute
pick
observation.
one of the, like, hey, click one of the three. Which would you like to look at? Because I think
different people.
we have different. Yeah, we have different.
Yeah, everyone would probably land some points. You know,
I think Luke would get the most because he's the most attainable.
Dude, these beers are actually might be
fucking right.
They might be the trick moving forward.
Sure.
Saturday mornings, it's a little bit tough.
Give me a fucking break.
So
you ever seen this dude's bottom ab?
No, I gotta.
Dude,
I do a lot of leg ups.
There's a fucking just a fucking thing there. It's a permanent thing. It's not body.
Do you want me to say your thing?
Actual.
You want me to say your thing?
Yeah. What is it? Oh, I know what it is.
All right.
You can say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Yeager's
tell people
you look like a 40-year-old guy that used to be in shape.
Like the Schwarzenegger, like kind of like set.
So like, damn, that guy was probably fucking ripped
dude,
when he was 25.
Well, you know what? It's fucking true. I was, and I could get back there. I'm sorry, I've taken it further than you have.
For Warrior Bro,
I could get ripped out of my fucking mind. It's just not an objective.
Listen to Miller. Keep it focused.
You know what I'll have to do next time is I'm gonna
pull the picture up. Pull the picture up.
I'm gonna have to limit the beers next time. I think. Also, dude, we went through that, but
there's 3 more.
So, Luke, Warrior Bro, like, have you guys thought about that? Like,
well, that would be the idea of buying up other ones.
So you'd rather, instead of building it from scratch, you'd rather just buy
100%. 100%. And like that's like it's like Rockney.
Yeah.
Like I talked to Rockney, and it's like there's like a 0 to 1 kind of work that you have to
Peter
do.
Thiel, yeah.
And then there's like a 1 to Peter Thiel.
I was like, read that book. Got it. Go on. Move on. I'm there. Got it. Yep, Peter Thiel. Drinks children's blood.
Exactly.
I'm there. I got it.
Exactly. So
I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah. So I'd rather take someone from 1 to 3 or 3 to 10 or whatever it is. Yeah. And then especially if I want to make $100 million or whatever, sell it for $100 million.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say I do
hundreds of millions of dollars.
I do think you could build that from the ground up because you already have the blueprint and like I guess. But I see what you're saying. Like you think it's easier just to acquire.
100%.
Wouldn't that even be more difficult to acquire if you're making that sort of like vertical integration?
No.
You know.
Nice.
No, because all your whole system of bringing on customers would stay the same.
Yeah,
and then you're also, I feel like your process mostly like
if you're building it around a person though, if it's not already proven, you're betting a bet that you're not gonna know the answer to for like a 2-year period. So it's like if somebody's already at 3 million, it's like they probably have the components of personality, character to like go ahead and
the person that is in all the videos.
Exactly. To like be the guy and sustain a sort of thing that people like, you know. So makes if sense. Not that, it's like, okay, I got to pick you. Hopefully I'm right. If I'm not going to find out for like 1.5 to 2 years, and I'm going to have to work with you a fucking lot to get you to the point where we can even do this.
Right.
So that's where absolutely.
So the personality is a huge component.
Huge.
So you'd rather go from 3 to 10 million than 0 to
1.
Yeah.
Honestly, I actually would have expected you to say that the personality doesn't matter that much, and it's more about just like getting a good marketing plan together. I would have expected you to say that, but I don't know. I'm just
no. When push comes to shove, to get to big numbers. So it's like to get to, let's say 10 million one time. Mm-hmm. You could do it with anybody with good marketing. You could make $10 billion, good VSL, fucking make a sales team, make $10 million, really with fucking anything, selling anything. But to sustain it and then to grow it and then to get it beyond it, there has to be a level of like mission, and there has to be a level of like human trying to do thing. And then like that being strong enough and palpable and infectious enough to have that like organic pull connection in one direction. Yeah. So, like a focal point.
So if you're going to buy a company, would you prefer a company at 5 million who has a ton of time and experience in marketing, or a company at 1 million who hasn't spent shit in marketing, people just connected with them?
1 million all day.
Yeah.
Would you even question. Like if you're buying, would you even be interested in that 5 million?
No, because I already have all of that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need that.
What marginal benefit can Luke give? I agree with that. Luke, one content idea that I thought about, and now that I'm 2 beers in,
and this is nice because we're talking about like actually things we're trying to figure out right now. Yeah. And it's just so much fun.
Oh,
I'm having some.
You're probably figuring shit out as we're talking.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with you, Luke. I get energy. So one idea I thought of is like
this software thing too. I mean, not to just fucking go. Layla was like, "You think you should build a software company right now?" I'm like, I don't know.
What's that
part
mean?
Of me does. I think like, so this internet capitalist idea, I think could be big.
Luke, I would come work for you if for internet capitalist idea. I think that I agree. I think you have the skill set, and
I work for you too.
Like you have
I wouldn't hire you.
I was waiting for it. I fucking I laid it up for you. Gave you the alley.
Okay.
I was waiting.
Let me tell you one other idea that I had is like it'd be kind of content, kind of fun, kind of money. Like I think it'd be cool for you to just like pick a random product like a lamp, and scale it to like $5 million in sales and walk people through how you did that.
Yeah,
because I think to your point, like you could sell anything to 10 million, and I think that'd be cool to say like, hey, here's this lamp, I'm gonna show you how to optimize. And people have probably done this before, but I actually think
people like to see
like I think you could do it. Like,
but to me it sounds so much more interesting to be like, hey, let's get a cool ass team together, build this really valuable product, and like really like, you know, love it, it's so valuable, build the fuck out of it, make tons of money with it. Like that sounds so much more fun to me. Then that's also fun, but it's a different kind of fun. Like it's like that'd be really good if I was trying to make money selling courses on like how to make money.
Yeah,
like, that would crush it. That would destroy it. But I don't want to do that. Yeah. Like I want to build tons of businesses, make tons of money with the businesses, and then just share how I'm doing it for free.
Yeah, the marketing thing is a super valuable piece to any business. You could go into different sectors.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the property management thing that we're starting. Honestly, I'm sure you could add a lot of value there that would be worth like, you know, equity in that company. You know, just like creating a VSL and an online marketing platform.
What's VSL?
100% video sales letter. So it's like, marketing in the internet is like, there's people with like businesses with VSLs and good marketing that are doing like ridiculous numbers and nobody knows exists. Like no one has any idea anybody exists. There's no big like brands. And like, is that the goal? I don't really think so. I don't really think like that's not my goal to like do any shit like that where it's like you're just selling the fuck out of something because you want to make a ton of money. It's like eventually it's like, okay, you're just fucking making more money.
That
like,
is the goal until you make money to the point where you're like, okay, I have enough money to do the things that fulfill me. Yeah. Now what's your purpose of
exactly.
what you're doing?
Exactly.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Have you ever looked at that?
People get stuck in that though. Like it's like people just want to make more and more money.
Yeah, but I think people get stuck in it because of it's like a
trap.
It's more than the money though. Usually when people get stuck, I just find it's usually like they're comparing themselves to the other people that they're around, or they like to show off
getting your worth from it.
It's like it's a substitute of like fulfillment.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
But it's ego based.
Exactly. For me, it's much more like it's great when like, you know, we log into Slack and there's like yesterday I logged in and like there's a salesperson who or a coach who was like, this woman's husband called me and he was telling me like he was just so thankful about how like their whole relationship got better and like his wife's confidence over the last 6 months since working with this person just like through the roof. And it's like, you know, everything's so much better now that they're doing this. She feels better about herself, you know, like being more present with their kids or whatever it is. That's what it's about.
It's dope.
And that, you know, it's like you get way, or even like we're on the way to fucking a bar the other night and Camagna went to a thing. He just bought a dental practice and he's in these masterminds that are very expensive in dental. It's the same business model except they're on dental, as Hormozy's talking about. And the guy gave everybody $100, like give this away to somebody. The Uber was outside and he was such a nice guy. Like he was such a fucking nice guy. And we were late. He's like, don't worry about it. Just add it to the tip. And like, at first I was like, it like triggered me a little bit. And then I was like, dude, this is such a nice guy. Like, he's got this thing. It's like, you know, kids are in college with us. I'm like, come on, give him the 100 or give me the 100. I'll add the 100 because I was paying for the Uber. And I was like, guys, actually just give him the 100 directly. And then I also gave him 100. So the guy got a $200 tip. It's like, it's not about making money. It just is not. Like, it's about like what I'm doing is helpful to these people, you know, to my fellow humans in whatever way, shape, or form. Like, that's what's cool. Yeah, and that's where like, you know, like internet capitalists, like that software, it can help a lot of people. And you also get rich. Like that's the best part. Like it's like you do both of them. It's not like, hey, let's just figure out how we can, you know, fucking find this affiliate offer we don't give a fuck about, get really good at copywriting, drive a fuckload of traffic, make a ton of money, and like, okay, so we're just sitting here selling someone else's stuff, making a bunch of money. Cool. Or it's like, I like, you know, I understand these people. I understand this would help these people. And then like seeing that actually happen, that's way more interesting.
So what is internet capitalist then?
Can I pee while you guys are
yeah, I got to pee again as well.
Yeah, go ahead. You go first.
I fucking broke the seal.
You have to pee?
I just peed.
We should get the 3 other beers,
too. Yes, I have to pee.
I'll get the 3 other beers.
Naval?
Yes, I have to pee. Fucking pee break?
Yeah.
Huh?
Pee break?
Yeah, there's 2 bathrooms. Why are we going to take a pee break? Dude, the in and outs... The in and outs is all right. I don't mind it because we keep it rolling.
So Naval says at the end of his tweet storm, how to get rich without getting lucky, he says, but being rich won't give you happiness. But that's the topic for another thread. And I think it's what. And the other thing that people.
Dude, did you ever read the Almanac of Naval?
Have I read it? Have I read it?
I own it, but no, I haven't read it.
No, I've read it 10 times. I have 2 copies of it. Yeah. I have it underlined. Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, I think the other thing that I love about that is
I love that book too.
No, it's
split up into those 2 categories, right? Wealth and happiness. And it's like that for a reason.
To me, it makes a lot of sense. Like, I think there was another quote I heard. I
think that there's an overcorrection a lot of times with people like hating money, because money allows you to. Like it raises your ceiling of like what's possible in a lot of different areas where like Luke's like, okay, yeah, I gave this guy $100. He wouldn't have been able to do that if he was destitute.
Did you pee already? Oh, that's fast. Okay, keep going. Sorry. I had to tell you.
I was just sometimes like money also gets a bad rap. Like I agree it's not about the money, but then also at the same time, like you don't want to You don't want to be in a position where you're like, yo, I hate money. I don't, like, I don't need it, I guess is okay, fine. But
I fucking love money. Don't
too.
get me twisted.
Yeah.
I fucking love money.
Yeah. I mean, you missed our conversation. I wasn't saying that about what you said. It was more about like,
fucking 100% want money. Want money, love money, need money.
There's
want
like a balance. There's a balance where like, you understand what it can do for you, but it's not like the money. Gaining the money is not the thing that's driving your happiness, but also having more money allows you to do the thing more that is driving your happiness.
Yeah.
That's the nuanced difference. What do you guys think about Miller's haircut? Comment right now about what you think about Miller's new haircut. Fucking awesome. And actually, you got the nice coiffed hair going into the beard where like it gets like down to nothing and then it goes to the beard. It's a good look, dude.
No, I appreciate it, bro.
Coiffed mean?
That's what we got it.
Coiffed?
Coiffed? Okay. Coiffed.
We were talking about
almanac. He's got the curl.
No, I do
get
Luke
the curl on the right side. He can't see it.
Coiffed. Oh, okay. God, that's calic.
What?
Isn't it?
Can you give me the
starter calic? I don't know. Maybe we should have got a 24.
Unintended consequence of the beers is the pee breaks. We're honestly dropping.
Bro, I drank half of a big Fiji too.
You know what we should do? Let's get absolutely plastered for the next episode, and we'll all wear diapers. Just 4-hour extravaganza.
I wonder what people are going to think about this. Anton, what do you think outside of the crotch
that is a hilarious idea. Like, imagine having a show where all of your guests came on with diapers and you just got fucked up and pissed yourself.
But the thing is, like, it's still uncomfortable.
That's why it'd be ridiculous.
A joke, Luke.
I mean, are you kidding me? It's so unsustainable. It's like you can't fucking. What are you gonna film 5 episodes in a week?
I'll do one episode.
Give away your life for a podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna get super fucked up. Wear diapers.
I'll do one diaper episode.
Dude, I don't know if I could do any diaper. I maybe could do one if I was like a guest on a show, but I'm not fucking hosting that shit.
What?
If you went on Rogan, I'm estimating Rogan for the three of us in about 2 years. I think Rogan says if you got to piss, you could just tell him because they're like 3-hour episodes.
Yeah.
No, they just do all the time.
Yeah,
like and they piss all the time.
Yeah. All right, let's go. So let's go to you, Yeags, from a value perspective. So first off, when you think about your customer, for Luke, to me, to the viewers, and to me, I think it's much more obvious who his customer is.
Yeah.
Like it's women trying to get in shape, and there's different flavors of that where they're trying to build muscle. But for you, when you think about your customer or customers, like is it investor and potential buyers, or how do you think about that? And then what value do you think you give to them?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think that and it's funny that you like kind of went down that direction because that's the direction that I was going to take it on.
That's
first
the computing, yeah. Me
before you even like before I went into that, I was already thinking in my head like how I have to break it down first because there's almost 2 different sectors because we have one side of our business that is investors and we have the other side of our business which is the people that are living in our properties.
Yeah,
and essentially what we want for both of them is like the best thing is like reliability and authenticity and transparency, which is just like kind of also how it's like the biggest thing for my life, that just living my life in that with those terms.
Explain to people what that means though.
So with our investors, we like to under promise and over deliver, and we like to be reliable no matter what the situation. So like they know if they invest in our company, they're insulated from any outside circumstances. And we do that by making sure that number one, our processes are on point, where we lessen the amount of variables that are out there if you're investing in a real estate transaction. So the way that we do that is just by controlling all of the pieces. So like we're like a very vertically integrated real estate company for how small we are. We do the acquisitions in-house, we do the construction in-house, we do our sales in-house, we do our leasing in-house, we do our management in-house. Like usually those companies have like 40 employees that do that, but we do it on a small scale. So we kind of went wide first, and then we're trying to build up now from our base. So like when we bring people on, we can teach them from experience and not just theory. Like we've done it, we've been doing it for the past couple of years. Now, okay, I want to do leverage in terms of collaboration, and I want to bring people on. Now let me teach you. I can't handle this aspect of our business anymore. Let me teach you how we've done it and how we've like made it successful on our small scale. And then we can grow up. And that just controls all the variables so that there's less things that can go wrong. So when an investor invests in our company, that they can be more secure with that investment. They can be more confident that their money is going to be used, in the right place.
So if I'm an investor and if I'm looking at Alex's company or Yeager's company, the value. I think you have it over there, right?
Yes. Do you? Oh, it's actually right here.
Hit my gum. Thank you.
So, Yeags, can I ask you, the last time you raised money, did you have to turn money away?
Yeah, every time.
There's
There's money waiting. But we're also we're very conservative with how we look at all of all of the individual deals on a micro level and then a macro level, like our strategy for our company. We're very conservative, and we could be putting this money to use with subpar deals, but then if a deal doesn't work out, at the end of the day, I'm not worried about our investors getting screwed because I know we would cover it. I can't imagine having one of our investors get screwed in a deal. And our first deal that we did, we lost $20,000. We broke even on the HUD, but our investors were owed $20,000 in interest. So Tyler and I came out of pocket to pay them $20,000, and that's how we lost $20,000. We could have easily just been hey, sorry guys, this deal didn't go how we thought. And this was before we had our company even. Yeah. But it was the first deal that we invested in, and we told others about the deal. And then to save the deal, after it went bad, we foreclosed on the property. We took it back, and Tyler and I ran it. And that was our first deal in real estate. I can talk more in depth about that another time. But point being, with our investors, we're looking for reliability, transparency, authenticity.
Dude, there's so many rabbit holes we can go down. But let's keep going. I'm going to write down.
Yeah. Then the other sector, the other side of it is
I'm going to write down what I was thinking, but keep going.
Okay.
Because I don't want to forget this.
The other customer, I guess you could say, for us would be the end user, which would be the whoever's buying the house or whoever's living in one of our properties. And for that, we take pride in just building awesome shit. All of our stuff, we sort of overdevelop everything that we do, and it might not even be the best business strategy for every single property. Sometimes we're selling a house for $230,000, and we end up there's water. There's a tiny bit of water in the basement, so we put in a full perimeter drain, and basically, we spend an $8,000 bill that we didn't have to spend.
That could have went to the bottom line.
Yes, right. That it's probably not really impacting us much, but we just want to build nice shit.
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily even a business decision. It's I want to be proud of what we build and what we pass on. And then to be honest, I do think it will help us down the line. We have visions of what we really want to do is build very, very high end custom houses for people that are as passionate as we are about it, and get just super into the design and just build really cool shit.
The takeaway I have from both of you guys, so there's another Naval quote, and Hormozy mentions it. He says, if you're doing sales, it means you haven't mastered marketing. Keep me honest here, Luke. If you're doing marketing, it means you haven't mastered product. Is that right?
Yeah.
And to me, you guys have thought about it. You guys are really focused on product, which is a lot of people
didn't even get there from there. I actually got there from a totally different direction because I was just I'm more focused with this time around on
and to be honest, that's not a binary. It's like a fucking
continuum.
It's you're
Well, also, do you remember that company that I did that was an internet marketing company before you got into internet marketing?
Yeah.
First of all, I also just got $1,500 in PayPal from them because they got sued by the FTC.
Nuh-uh.
So it's a random a dropping of
Steve Bransfield or whatever.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't one of the owners, but he's one of the people that I was learning from there. But I think he got into some shit with this company. But I remember being at the event with them, and they literally said, one of the guys on stage, he was the product doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is your marketing.
Yeah, it's fucked.
So it just gave me such a skeevy feeling, and I was okay, I don't think we're in the
right spot.
Yeah, and literally I went home, and this is actually this was after spending. I probably had spent
$10,000.
No, $30,000.
I think we gotta change more,
dude.
Holy shit! You spent $30,000 on internet marketing programs?
Yeah, because I bought multiple things, and then I was spending money on these ads.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, dude. And the thing was in Thailand.
Back in the day, things were weird though. Yeah.
I'm 100% buzzed. By the way, I'm definitely buzzed.
Same.
Yeah, no, me too.
This is beer number 4 for me.
So can I ask?
Me too.
Can I ask you guys, when you think about your competition, collaborative, do you get ideas from them? Do you think it's a competition? Is it more collaborative? Like, Luke, for you, is that something you think about or no?
Not at all.
What about for, I mean, well, actually, no.
Zero.
Why?
If I think about competition, I'm looking at what are things that they're doing that I'm not, that I can be. Other than that, there's nothing.
So it's like, it's an optimization thing. Like, hey, I'm Adidas. Nike came out with a new shoe. They have this new design that makes you run faster.
Yeah.
That's something I can put into my product. But beyond that, it's like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not worrying about their market share. I'm just focusing on the things that I can control.
Yes, because I'm in a market that is so goddamn big that is just like, it's like market share. It's like anybody who's like, well, how much market share? It's like, what are you talking about?
Because
like,
the market share is what? It's like a gajillion? like
infinite. Like it's like everybody, okay, 50% of the United States is obese. Like we're talking like you're having.
Is that a real factor?
Yeah, it's like 50% like overweight or something.
I believe that
100%. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, so you got 50% of the population that like is having a serious cost to them by staying doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I, Luke,
once you know that, it's done.
Has like, COVID changed? What has COVID done? Let's call it like during COVID and like post COVID.
Yeah.
You got to pee again? Because like obviously e-fitness became massive, like you saw with Peloton stock. So like, have you sustained that? Have you seen people start to go back to the gym? Like, how do you think about that?
So I think that it just accelerated what was already happening. And then like people still have to go to the gym regardless or work out from home, whatever it is. But online coaching as like a thing has just grown exponentially, and it's growing every day. You know, it's like there's so many people that are trying to they want to be supported by somebody and like be a part of some group. So it's fucking exploding. Yeah.
So when, and I'll call it post-COVID, like call it 3-4 months. It depends, right? There's different people, but like you haven't seen any sort of like subsiding in your business since like COVID has been quote unquote over.
No, nothing related to COVID. No,
nothing related to COVID.
No. So, I mean, there's operational complexity when you're trying to fucking, do like much more stuff where there's variables. You're hiring a bunch of new people. They're not trained, or like, maybe they're being trained and we're training so many people that the formalized training is doing good in one level, but maybe is missing on another level. Like it could be getting like the non-important things that are important. So like the non-important but necessary things, like being inside of all the technologies perfectly and understanding how to navigate them, could be nailing all those things, and it could be missing much bigger things. So it's like we're exposing and trying to figure out all that stuff right now. But as far as like COVID being something, no. But yeah, the costs went up. So right now we're gonna we need to reassess how we want to scale, basically.
Are you now fully convinced that remote learning, remote team working is the way your business will move, or would you ever consider having office space?
I would consider having office space. I think being around people is amazing.
Dude, office space is the shit.
Yo, can you build some office space? So I really want to tell you guys too, I really want to move to Florida in the fall, but this is the primary thing that's keeping me back. I'm having a lot of fun. So we got to
I am building office space right now. We're building a fucking sick office. I mean, it's small. It's manageable.
But I want
to. But it's gonna be so sick, dude. We linked up with this carpenter recently, that is like the absolute number one. If I could design a person that we could work with to just help us build really cool shit, this is the guy.
That's awesome.
If we're figuring out shit that has never been even done, and I'm looking at him I don't know how someone actually builds that. This is the guy that does it. He's fucking awesome, and he's gonna just he's going to help us just to design our office in a really cool way.
That's awesome.
I'm really looking forward to it. And we're also doing some cool shit where we're working straight with the consumer and
all of the stuff you guys post look good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like I haven't seen one of them where I'm like, yeah, that sucks.
You guys do this shit for real. It's like,
Oh, we're doing nice.
Yeah, you got
shit,
like
for
fucking
sure.
big black barn doors and like fucking like nice ass kitchens and stuff.
Dude, we do some really nice shit for the markets that we're in, and we're starting to scale up in some nicer markets. So like we're doing this one project we're going for $2 million on the out sale, and so this house.
Do you think when you build your own house, you'll like do the whole thing?
Fuck it, I'm gonna deck it out.
Nice.
First of all, I wouldn't buy
Could
a
you
house
build-
unless I was building.
Could you build a mansion right now?
100%. That's
Like
what we're
a
doing.
sick mansion?
Yes.
Like 5 to 10 million?
Yes. 100%.
Where at?
Dope as fuck looking custom.
This one in Northern Liberties is like, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Maybe you build my house
Dude, if you want a house built,
around here
yeah, we would do it.
at some point. Not like right now, but
Someone
would
like you,
wanna
we
have a
would do
house
that
around
for
here.
sure. 100%.
Sick.
what about for me?
And obviously,
I'll do it for you too.
yeah, and obviously make it work.
No, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna fucking gouge your ass.
Gouge my ass.
Yeah, we're gonna absolutely take you to the cleaner.
Look at this moron. Fucking mark everything up 100%. So, Yanks, when you think about, I asked Luke about his competition while you were pissed. Dude, that's the one downside. I think, honestly, net, the beers are positive, but the downside is we're all pissing, and we're all smash after 3 beers. But besides that, so
we don't drink a lot.
I know, we don't drink a lot.
Like, genuinely.
I don't know. Last week's been fucking.
yeah,
This is normal.
Yeah, if you haven't been training long enough like this, 3 beers still get you.
3
Yeah,
beers
it's
will
true.
100%
I
get
could
you.
go for 3 more though.
I
That's
know.
my
I could go
thing.
for probably about 4 more.
We should. Do you guys? we
3
should
to
get some-
5.
I really gotta get some food, but
I'll drink 15 beers tonight.
I'll drink fucking 1 more than whatever you drink.
I will drink 1 more than whatever you drink.
Well, then you're gonna die because obviously my fucking
fatter.
ceiling is higher than yours.
You
and
are
you're gonna
fatter.
fucking die.
That's a good point.
No,
it's a good point.
no, it's
it is
just
a
a
good
bodily function process thing.
because of the fat.
No, no.
Yeags, can you explain to us how you think about your competition? Like, are you
I love my
chatting with
competition.
them? Are you friendly with them? Do you care? Like,
We're very friendly with them. We've passed off deals. They've passed off deals to us. We try to be friendly with it. And honestly, there's people that I look up to that started after we did. I mean, there's this one company, for instance, these kids, Xander and Tom, they're the same age as us.
That's where Joseph works. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zatos, their
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
So those guys started, like, I guess actually about the same. They started at the same time as we did, and we went in like 2 different directions. Where they like raised money and they started doing like larger projects that they would own like a small share of, and then we owned 100% of what we did, and we were just doing small projects. And like the way that they scaled up, and then COVID hit, and like we were like, oh, we don't want to take a risk right now, and we just kind of stopped buying. And they like ramped up, and they bought a shit ton during that period, which was like super ballsy because there was a lot of time. It was 6-month period where
No,
we
one
just
knows what the fuck.
yeah, we didn't know what was going to happen, and basically what we were betting on was that was going to be the start of like a very large collapse, essentially. And it didn't happen, and the real estate market has gone nuts since then. But my point is, like, we've seen a lot of what they do, and we're very friendly with them. And I like Xander and Tom a lot, and like I'm not like weirded out or ashamed in any way to say like I admire what they do, and that has actually helped us to change a lot of what we do in a direction that's more suitable for us. So it's like like my ego easily could have gotten in the way there to stop me from saying, oh wow, those guys went in a different direction, and like their decision was probably a better decision. That was really fucking awesome. And if that stopped me from doing it, then we wouldn't be doing a lot of the things that we're doing right now.
I think it's a sign of intrinsic security from the both of you and confidence to say like, yeah, like it's a positive sum game. Like I don't have to take market share away from someone else. Like it's collaborative.
I don't think that like I'm even like big enough to worry about market share.
I don't think about any of that shit.
No,
And then,
it's good.
by the way, at the same time, I still want to beat the competition.
Yeah.
No, me
So
too.
it's like at the same time, it's like I respect, I don't care, support you, throw you business. I'm still gonna also try and win.
No, but you also want your competition to like be playing at their best when you beat them. Like an analogy would be if I'm in a basketball game playing against someone, I'm not going to hire someone to break the kneecap of the opposing star player.
Yep.
Like, I want him out there on the court playing at his best. I hope he doesn't get sick.
I just hope my game wins.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day,
at my
still,
best. I want him to be at his best, and then I want to beat him.
Yeah, for sure. Hundo P.
I remember when you guys remember like in the kitchen, like when you guys were like 5 or 6, your parents might have had like a little box TV. You know what I'm talking about? With, like,
not in mine, but yeah.
We didn't have it in the kitchen, but I know the
big real small,
like a little news TV in the kitchen.
News TV. So I remember I was watching the Sixers play the Bucks. I think Eastern Conference Finals, and Ray Allen, who was the Bucks' best player, he got hurt, and I started cheering. And my dad said to me, "No, you don't cheer for the other player to get hurt." Like, one, it's like a dick move to do, but two, also you want to beat them at their best. So like that's what I.
That's a really good dad moment.
Yeah,
a good dad.
That's
lesson,
a good.
dude.
I'll have to. I'll.
You gotta let him know.
I'll send him this link.
Pass that along. Dude.
He might remember.
Because that stuck with you for this long.
That's
why kids are so cool. Dude.
Holy shit,
Luke's fucking wasted. Look at this guy. This fucking guy.
I'll send it to him. He
probably doesn't remember. How Yeager feels right now.
Do you guys? How much longer do you guys want to keep going? It's 7:38. Like, I still have a bunch of other shit, but like we've gone for a while.
I had the 3 more pisses. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to eat by 8. I'm doing a little mini intermittent fasting.
Okay, let's go
it's very casual intermittent.
Here's carbs. You have carbs. You're eating.
Yeah, I gotta eat dinner still.
There's a couple other.
We could go eat dinner.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really other good things that I'll save for next week. So let's go to the personal optimization segment, and then we'll wrap. So anything like because you're doing a new diet, right? Do you want to focus on that?
How many other things were there?
Well, I want to talk about. I'll tell you what I want to talk about.
I mean, if there's like 30 minutes,
I want to talk about what is your price? What is your pricing?
You're eating carbs.
What is your pricing strategy? Do you think legacy is important? Those are pretty loaded. I feel like
that's a long one.
Yeah. And then there's a quote when I was in
there's tequila in there, dude.
I really need food. I think that's part of the reason why I'm fucking smashed. Is I have like 2.5 beers and like I have no food. There's a quote too. Hormozy said, "When I was in my 20s, I wanted to be a millionaire."
Oh, I was gonna pick this one out.
When I was a millionaire, I wanted to be in my 20s.
Yeah.
And then I also want to discuss. Yeah, we need to do it. This is good stuff for next week.
Dude, that quote alone is a whole episode.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, S&Ps. The NASDAQ was down like fucking 5% today. I was working. I was like, fuck. Like, that's not good. So let's wrap, unless you guys really have passion for the personal optimization.
Yeah, we're good.
And then
personal optimization, non-existent. Although maybe like the one argument would be like, drinking and like having a bunch of tequila and stuff like that definitely adds another dynamic to my thinking. So maybe that's an optimization point.
I mean, and you went to Vegas with like a mastermind. Like, I guess we sort of talked about that, but
yeah.
What about you, Yeags? Anything?
I went to Rufus concert last week. Did I tell you that? Did we talk about this?
Mm-hmm.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to a country concert this week.
What? Kenny Chesney?
No, it's Barefoot Country Music Festival. It's like a 4-day thing. I'm only going for a day and a half.
Who's playing?
Fucking hate country music.
What?
Yeah.
I fucking love country music.
I'll get you to like it.
And there's like a couple good ones.
Actually, I don't remember who's playing, but
all right,
a bunch of people. It's in Wildwood. It's like on the beach.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to come?
When is
you going to be at the beach?
This week, I have a wedding Saturday. I got a sick new suit.
Nice.
Nice. You might check it on Instagram.
Are like your friends just starting to get married?
No, they've been getting married, but dude, the thing is, dude,
that might have been loaded right there.
So
let's just talk about that, and then we'll wrap.
I'll give you my personal optimization. So the thing I've been thinking about a lot is I've been trying.
Someone has one.
I'll tell you the thing I'm thinking about a lot. It's whatever you were just thinking.
Yeah, I want to go into that too.
Yeah,
as opposed to me being single forever. The other thing I've been thinking about a lot.
He's like,
he's a machine.
It's like,
he's just focused.
Like I've been trying to think about how I sleep, how I feel, and like backing into. I think I made this analogy before. When you look at your bank account, you could say like, hey, I spent $100 at dinner. I spent $100 on clothes, and like, this is why I came down. I'm trying to think about how I feel based on what I've done before that. So like, if I sleep well, like if I feel like I have a good day at work and like good day of exercise, it's like, okay, like what what preceded the 24 hours? Like, what happened before
What
that?
was the cause to that effect?
And then on the contrary, like, if I slept poorly, if I've been like, and yeah, 'cause that's why I think your analogy earlier around eating with like tracking your eating, it's almost like doing that, but just for like
For everything.
Honestly, my thing right now is almost the exact opposite of that.
Really? Just
It's literally just
Getting
like
out of your head.
it's more like, did I get the result I'm looking for? So it's like someone, when I was drinking that cup of coffee, was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna fuck your sleep up. And I like thought about it. I was like, I'll sleep better knowing I did what I was supposed to do well than I would if I just got a good night's sleep and didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't really give a fuck about my sleep, any of it. It's just like, am I doing what I'm trying to do? And if I am,
Yeah, like
good.
if you try to manipulate it too much and fit it in this little box, it's just not gonna
It's
work.
like, it's not about sleep. It's not about like any of that shit. It's about doing what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, there's some sort of there's like this weird. I think your feelings correlate to something that has a universal truth. I mean, this is like my weird spiritual side a little bit, but it's like there's something that is like you can feel it inside when you're doing something that you know is putting you on purpose.
Yeah.
On your purpose.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like,
if that means stay up late,
yeah,
if
sometimes
that means
it does.
drink a bunch of tequila with some people.
But that's why I also don't like, I'm like very non-committal with a lot of things is because I like to go in the direction that pulls me the most.
Well, my belief is that you move more towards that by moving more towards that. And eventually you can be inside of that world enough where then you optimize. And like, you're like, okay, you like get yourself to a point where you're working on.
Did you get that? You understood that? I
All right. So like, say like, you know, it's like, oh, this calls for beers and some tequila. And it's kind of like, okay, like, yeah, you're still like accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish, making the connections you're trying to make, having the thoughts with the people you're trying to have the thoughts with that then go into action and turn into growing something or building something. And then you like push that process forward to where there's lots of things growing and building and you have all of these things around you. And then at the same time, you can build these systems that like allow you to also sleep well and stay in that state and then also travel well
and the more
stay
you
in
do
that
the
state.
one, the more you can do the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer in like, fuck your sleep, like fuck your stress level, like fuck all of that until you get to the point where you can kind of manipulate it.
Yeah, but
like,
it goes in
it.
waves, right? Because like manipulating it for one stage in your life might mean different than manipulating it in a different stage of your life. Like when
Right.
you were first coming up and you're making $100,000 a year for the first time and you're like, holy shit, now I have all of this money, which allows me to optimize these things that now you're not even thinking of, but
Right.
then were huge deals.
Right. You're like, nah, I don't have to worry about eating like tacos.
Eating shitty food.
Yeah,
Right,
it's like,
exactly. Right.
yeah.
Like now you're starting
Go
to
to
eat,
Whole
like, good
Foods,
food.
yeah.
Yeah. Like then that is something that impacts you to a
and then you want a chef.
Yeah.
And then you got a driver and a chef
Yeah.
and a butler and a house
There's always
person.
a
And,
next
and now
level
you
to it.
just vibrate through the whole thing. Just
but-
perfect.
What's unchanging is
Going straight for getting it. I think that's the key ingredient.
what do you mean?
I didn't get that one either.
So it's like, it's not about the sleep. It's not about the routine.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
about
yeah.
getting
Keep the
what
main
you're
thing the
trying
main
to
thing.
fucking get.
Yeah, you want to keep the main
Did
thing.
you
the main thing.
execute on what you're trying to execute?
Yeah.
I don't care if you had to drink an energy drink at 2 a.m. Like,
Yeah.
did you do what you were trying to
you
do?
woke up and you didn't make your bed. And
And
then
did you
went
go
out
through
and
the
you
next
drank-
day knowing you fucking did what you were trying to do?
Yeah.
Because I would rather go through the day tired with shitty sleep, knowing I did what I was trying to do, than I would with great sleep and not fucking doing it.
100%. Yeah. Agreed.
All right, let's end it there.
Keep the main
That's
thing
right
the
there.
main
I
thing.
gotta-
Boom.
I gotta
Peace.
piss again. Yeah, good
I
shit.
do too. Fucking A. All right, let's fucking.
Dude, that was that was so much fun. Do we always have that much fun, or was it?